welcome to my channel. I'm Andrea. Today I decided to share a recipe with you that I grew up with, and it's butter beans, and we kind of make them into a casserole. So it's a butter bean casserole and it's tomato based. So I've had them soaking overnight. So I started off with dried butter beans, put them in a pot of cold water, soak them overnight. I'm going to rinse them, cook them through, and I'll take you through that with me. The ingredients I have, which I will be using today, I have here some carrots, diced carrots, some chopped celery, I have some minced garlic just here. I'm going to add some salt. I've got stock cubes here. I'm using chicken stock cubes, but you of course can use vegetable stock cubes if you want to keep this vegetarian recipe. I have some chopped onions just here, some chopped parsley, I have some dill for garnishing at the end, some tomato puree just here, some crushed tomatoes, and we're going to add black pepper as well just here. So that's basically the ingredients that I'm going to be using. Of course, I'm making a great big amount because I'm giving some out as well, but I will adapt this recipe and I will put it down in my description box. I will adapt it to a smaller amount, smaller quantities. But again, like I've always said in all my videos, if you don't like celery, don't add celery. All these recipes can be adapted. If you don't like dill, don't use dill. If you like to use lots of carrot, you can use carrot. You can also add potato to this recipe. I'm not going to add potato because I'm using a lot of butter beans, so I don't want to add potato, but you can add potato. And the moment I would add the potato would be when I'm frying up my vegetables. I would also fry up the potato at that point in time as well. But anyway, so I'll take you through the recipe. So right here I have my butter beans that, like I said, I have soaked overnight, and I'm going to drain them in the colander that I have ready sitting there. So just going to empty them out just here. Just drain them off. I'm going to also rinse them through and give my pot a quick rinse as well. So just rinsing off the butter beans like so. I'm going to take my pot to my other sink and give that a rinse as well. So that's my pot already rinsed. I'm now going to, in fact I'll put the butter beans in, they're rinsed. Going to put them into the pot, and as you can see I am using lots, but again I will adapt the recipe for you. I'm going to fill this with cold water to cover, and you do not add salt at any point just now. You do not add salt until the butter beans are cooked through, because if you do add salt, then your butter beans basically will stay hard, they won't cook. So just going to put this back on the hob. So here we have the butter beans just here. So I'm going to bring them to the boil, I'm going to start skimming, and we'll take it from there. So as you can see now, the beans are starting to boil. So, and you can see the froth on the top forming, and this is what we need to start skimming away. So this is reality here. You will hear dogs barking, you will hear babies crying because we have my granddaughter as well, and we also have my mum just sitting to the left there as well, and a washing machine in the background. So a real life kitchen. So basically you just keep skimming off all the froth like so. And there's Bappo there walking his granddaughter up and down there. There she's there. There's Mum there. There's our Georgie, and there's Mum sitting there. And I'm just going to continue skimming this, and then we'll come back to it. Okay, so as you can see, the beans have come to the boil. I've skimmed them. They've probably been cooking here, because of the amount that I have, for probably about 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do now, because I feel I need a bigger pot if I had to be honest, I'm going to move these over onto the other hob to make sure that they stay in hot water. I'm going to move them over, I'm going to bring a bigger pot, and I'm going to start frying up my vegetables. You don't have to change pots, it's just because I need a bigger pot. So what would normally happen at this stage is you would just drain the beans, fry up your vegetables in this pot. I like to then put in my beans, stir it in, then add hot water. But so that's how it would normally happen. But at the moment now, I am just going to move these over, so they're going to continue cooking just there. Okay, so here I have my bigger pot, the olive oil, which I think I forgot to mention when I was saying what ingredients we needed. So lots, this recipe requires lots of olive oil. There we go. So just heat up that olive oil, because olive oil is part of this recipe. So I have my wooden spoon just here, ready to fry everything up. So just waiting for this olive oil to heat up. And that's what's going on the other end of the kitchen. And you can make this recipe and not fry up the veg by basically just adding everything to the hot water and beans, but this is how I like to do it. So my olive oil has heated. I'm going to now add my onions. So I just do all this as flavour, as well as sautéing the veg, as flavour to the overall recipe. So there we go, added the onions, add the garlic, just keep stirring everything in, and those onions have soaked in the olive oil already. So now I'm going to add in my carrots. Stirring it all around. There we go. Add in my celery. And again, I'm not adding any salt to this recipe at all. So I've got hot water on the stand. I just there ready for when I add my beans, because you have to use hot water. So just giving them a stir round. Crumbling my stock cubes. Just crumble them in.
The crumpy.
And there we go. All a good stir. So I'm now going to take my butter beans. I'll switch this off first. So I'm going to take my butter beans from here, and I'm going to drain them. That's my water ready. Now these beans are not cooked, they are still hard. Water to the colour of the water. So that's the beans drained. I'm going to add them straight into my pot with my veg. Before I add the beans, I'm going to add the tomato. Sit in there. Just add that, give that a stir as well. In there. Some puree. So now adding my beans into the pot. Going to give it all a stir. Get it all stirred in. Hot water. Husband was chatting with the neighbour, completely forgetting that I'm trying to do a film vlog. There we go. Covered right to the top. Enough water to cover the beans. And basically all we do now is just let them cook through. Until the beans soften. I'm actually going to add just some more olive oil. Because we like olive oil, and like I've said before, just what you like, you add. So there we go. Just going to let them cook through. Cover, and we'll come back to them. Okay, so now that's the butter beans cooked, and of course you can tell they're cooked because they are tender when you bite into them. So I can now add my seasoning. I've turned off the hob, and because it's still kind of bubbling away in here because it's been bubbling away for a while. So I want to add at this moment in time some salt, and because I have a lot, I'm going to add quite a bit of salt just here for flavouring. I'm going to add my black pepper. Again, we like black pepper, so I like to add quite a lot of ground black pepper. There we go. Plenty of flavouring in there. And I'm also at this moment going to add some fresh flat leaf parsley as well, and I am also going to use the parsley to garnish with the dill at the end. So I'm going to just let that set so it all draws in the flavours, and it just like a soup when you need it to rest. I'm going to let the beans rest for a wee while. I'm going to put some garlic bread on. I'm going to chill a bottle of white, don't know, not sure yet, and then we're going to sit and enjoy our butter bean casserole with garlic bread and a chilled glass of white. And I'll show you the when it all comes together. So here we are. Here's the end result just here. The beans all cooked. We have some nice crusty garlic bread to go with them, and a nice and crispy fresh salad. I'm going to garnish this with some parsley, there we go, and some dill as well. I like dill, so this is my plate here, just garnishing it with some dill, and here's the end result. You can see the steam coming off that as well. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed seeing this recipe. If you decide to give it a go, then let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you later. Bye.